Oops.
Hi, Madam President. Yeah, I'm here.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Let's see if we can start. Good? Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're going to call the Tuesday, April 18th, 2023 regular meeting of the Gardner City Council Finance Committee to order. The clerk will please call the roll.
President Kaminskis.
Present.
Councilor Monaco.
Present.
And Councilor Van
Present.
Is anyone here recording tonight's meeting? We'll begin with the review and approval of the meeting minutes of March 20th, 2023.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes and waive the reading of.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Corner, seconded by Councilor Generalowitz to waive the reading of the minutes and accept them as presented. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item 10956, Gardner Contributory Retirement Board Notice of FY 2024 COLA. The mayor's on the phone. We have Ms. Miriam and we have from the retirement board here. And if you want to come up, I don't know if you both you ladies want to come up. Cheryl, you want to come up too? We have Cheryl Bossy here as well, also from the retirement. So we received a letter from the mayor explaining the cost of living adjustment of $1,000 to bring it from $13,000 to $14,000. Mr. Mayor, did you want to begin, or did you want me, or ladies, did either of you want to begin on this?
No, just.
I'm here, Madam President, if you want it, but they can certainly take it if they'd like. It's long and short is that the general laws allow the retirement board every year to raise the base in which the cost of living adjustment is given every year by $1,000 with approval of the city council. Annually, when we do the regular compensation schedule and we give a cost of living adjustment to our employees, it's on the base pay. But unlike that, with the retirement board, it's only on the first $13,000. So, for instance, if an employee was making $50,000 a year, they got a 2% cost of living adjustment, they'd be getting that off of they'd be getting basically a $1,000 raise off of that $50,000. But if it was a pension, it's only on the first 13, so it'd only be a $260 raise rather than $1,000. So this is bumping that up by that $1,000 there for the all the retirees for the city that are not teachers. Those are not in our local retirement system. But Ms. Miriam and Ms. Bossy can take care of that in a lot more detail than I just did.
Okay, and the last time this increase was voted on by the council was in 2012.
Yeah.
Correct. Is there anything that either of you would like to add?
No, we're just looking at the cost would be around $8,130 for a year. The city does pay a portion of that, but I don't think you'll even notice it in the portion that the city pays. And we, like I said, we haven't gone up, but we did our own cost evaluation, and we feel that increasing this to $14,000 is least expensive than trying to go up to the 5% like the state and the other people are doing with the 5%.
I mean,
It's
I'm
really
aware of how this system works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect everybody. We do have some lower end retirees that aren't even making the $13,000. So they will, will continue to get an increase, but they won't get the full increase of the $420 a year that the 14,000 earners will receive.
Yeah, we have some long-term retirees that.
Yeah, their pensions are
Minimal
low.
pension.
Yeah. I don't know how they survive.
This doesn't really help or address, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But we
I, for one, I'll make a motion that we recommend the adoption.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Cormier, seconded by Councilor Generalowitz to recommend adopting the increase. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10957, a measure authorizing acceptance of donations and gifts for use by Gardner Council on Aging. We've gotten these in the past, and this is something that we have to have all of these donations and gifts come before us. During the pandemic, I believe was when this started. There was a lot of donations happening throughout the state. Again, it's just great to see the generosity that we have in the community and all these different organizations, foundations, and funds to think of our seniors. Mr. Mayor, do you have anything to add?
No, just thank you to those organizations that donated to the Council on Aging, and looking forward to seeing how we can use those for the better good at the senior center.
Thank you. Questions, comments from the committee?
Thank you.
No, I'm just, again, I'm astonished at the generosity. A couple of them are from organizations, but still, it's a great boost.
Every time we see these, it's great to see.
Yeah.
I'd make a motion, we recommend authorizations to the full council.
Second,
Motion made by Councilor Donat, seconded by Councilor Cormier to recommend authorization to full council. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed say no.
Madam President,
Mr. Mayor?
just to let you know that there's another one of these coming at the next meeting. The day after the agenda was posted, they got a $3,500 donation that'll be on the next council agenda for acceptance. So there's more coming too. So again, just thank you to everyone who did it.
Thank you.
thank you.
Item,
Good to hear good news like that.
Item 10958, an order authorizing $5,109.19 payment of prior year operating expenditure for various departments, energy and utility. This is requesting authorization to pay a bill that was received for services in the previous fiscal year, and so it has to go before the council to pay for it. It's regarding energy and utility costs associated with the city's solar credits and metering credits. Mr. Mayor, do you have anything you'd like to tell us about this bill?
Sure thing, Madam President. This was a bill with Solterra. They run the West Street solar field facility that we have. That powers all of our municipal buildings. We basically sell the energy back to the grid, and we get our electricity at a discount. We do still have to pay certain items with that, and that's what this bill is here for. When the bill was received for the latest one that we got from them, we noticed it was higher than usual. Our city auditor reached out to Solterra, and they let us know that the $5,100 was outstanding on a bill that was missed in the last quarter of the last fiscal year. So that's why if you look, the bill is around like $20,000 total. Would normally be about 15 at this point, and the reason is there was $5,000 that went unpaid last year. We can cover the rest in money that was appropriated for this fiscal year's operating budget because it was expended and taken care of in this fiscal year. But since this is all stuff that was done in the previous fiscal year, we have to have a 9/10 vote of the city council in order to authorize that. And I understand that Councilor Heath and Councilor Chisholm aren't planning on being in attendance at tonight's meeting. This is not something that's a total urgency, but just something we need to get paid at some point.
Thank you. Questions, comments from the committee?
I just have questions on the number, Mr. Mayor, and my calculations for the May and June comes out to more like 6,500. Was a portion of it already paid?
Oh, what was that, Councilor? I'm sorry, I didn't
we can-
hear the end of that.
The bill shows about $1,700, almost $1,800 actually for May, the generation fee. And then the bill breaks down June through January. Obviously, only June would be applicable to this. So using the kilowatt per hour rate shown that they were charging for that generation fee for June through January, and multiplying by on the information they gave us, the 43,881, the production number there, that comes up like $4,751. So total with those two is more like $6,500. So which doesn't tie into the 5,100. So I don't know if there's a way to, that some of it was paid already last fiscal year, or what the.
Yeah, I believe that we were able to cover it with what we had left in the budget, and I think that that's where it came in higher than what was budgeted. So that we had this $5,000 left over after the budget line item for that expired last year. Again, the city auditor would have the detailed information on this, so if you'd like more information on that, certainly wait on this one and have him come to the next meeting and explain that further. But from what it was explained to me is that we paid as much as we could in what was appropriated last year, and then this would be the difference of what was left over for that.
All things being equal, it's been 10 months. I'm sure we can wait on this, and we'll just get the full details from the auditor if that's okay with everyone else. I ask for more time.
Yeah, we should keep this on the agenda and have more time on this one.
Keep it on our agenda, yeah.
Or if is it on the council agenda for tonight?
It is on the
Well, then
agenda
you
for
just
tonight.
make a motion to refer it to the
Refer back
council.
to us, okay.
Refer it
I
to
move to
finance.
recommend referral back to the finance committee.
Yep,
Motion made by Councilor Donat, seconded by Councilor Cormier to refer this back to the Finance Committee for further study and report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. No discussion. Motion passes. Item 10959, an order transferring $3,530 from Building Inspector Department head salaries to professional services expenditures. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. As you are aware, if there is a transfer between a salary account and an expense account, that has to be done by a majority vote of council. When Commissioner Jean resigned from his position as building commissioner, former building commissioner for the city, Jeff Cook, who's currently the current commissioner in the town of Orange, filled in on a temporary basis for about 3 weeks in the city before current acting commissioner Richard Hank took the role. This would be the funding that would pay the contract that former acting commissioner Jeff Cook was able to do. Because they're a contracted employee, it's considered an expense and not salary. Therefore, we needed a transfer in order to cover the cost associated with that contract for service that was done there too. There'll be a similar one of these that comes up when the new building commissioner takes over in about 25 days from now. An offer has been made and accepted, but since the turnaround time for building permits, you have 30 days to close out a permit. The future commissioner, Mr. Thomas Zupa, who is a former Gardner resident, now lives in the town of Winchendon, wanted to close out the work that he was currently doing in the community that he currently works for, so that's what he required a 30 days notice. So once that time period is done, we'll have a similar vote for this, for the contract for acting Commissioner Hank.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Questions, comments on the committee?
Make a motion, we recommend passage to the full council.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor General, seconded by Councilor Cormier to recommend passage to the full council. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed say no. Motion passes. Any new business?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion made by Councilor Cormier, seconded by Councilor General to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed say no. Motion passes. The meeting stands adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.